It is my pleasure to introduce this morning's guest speaker, Mr. Dennis Michael Samuels. Dennis Michael Samuels, born September 20, 1967, a dental technician by vocation and entrepreneur since 1995 as Director of Cornmead Pharmacy, Cornwall Enterprises Limited. He has worked in the youth ministry, education department, personal ministries, literature evangelism, and as a lay evangelist, and as an elder in his local congregation. In 4 of the 5 departments listed, he has accumulated more than 30 years as a leader or supportive officer. In addition, he has served as member of the executive committee for West Jamaica Conference and board member for Harrison Memorial High School, and a former board member to Northern Caribbean University, as well as the executive board member of the Northern Caribbean University Endowment Fund. As an active member of the Montego Bay business community, he champions the Hard Street Upliftment Program through education and a key supporter and contributor to the Mount Carey SDA Education Outreach Program evening classes. Amidst his daily grueling tasks as a successful businessman and an engaged Christian, he is a devoted husband to wife and business partner, Dennis Samuels, whom he married 31 years ago. He is a dedicated father to son Dennis Jr. and many mentees. Dennis is an avid reader who believes that education, humility, the dignity of labor, integrity, and hard work are man's most useful tools in society. He lives his philosophies and is committed to contribute in areas of life that speak to uplift society through action and deliberate engagement. He believes in the continuance of Christ's work through selfless action and genuine care towards humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow students, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you distinguished past student of Anchovy Primary School, Mr. Dennis Samuels.
So I say thank you for the introduction. Master Sermon, Chairman Ramona Stetley, Board Chairman Dean Barodas, Principal C. Brad Mitchell, Vice Principal Miguel Thompson, Guidance Counselor Shadeen Walters, Andromeda, Willows, parents, guardians, students, well-wishers, family of the Anchovy Primary School. Good morning. It is a great joy to address you this morning. It's not only a joy, but it is a privilege. And as I look on your theme says embracing the future possibilities. Embracing your future possibilities. I'd like us to do an exercise by turning to your right neighbor and say, neighbor, we need, come on with me now, neighbor, we need to embrace the present possibilities and the future ones. Like to entitle the talk this morning, I think this far too not noisy. If your neighbor is speaking, tell your neighbor just to calm down. So here we are. Under your caption, embracing the possibilities, the future possibilities, I'd like to entitle the talk this morning, The Two Darbies. The Two Darbies. We're going to embrace the possibilities of the future. I'd like to hear saying that one of the first things we ought to do is to create and cultivate good thoughts. And why should we cultivate and nurture good thoughts? Thoughts are indeed things. And every great inception, every great invention, every great achievement started with a thought. And because thoughts are indeed things and thoughts are powerful, we must do all we can to cultivate and nurture good thoughts. Because thoughts forms our actions, and our actions creates habits, and habits forms character, and character determines our future. So one of the first planks of the talk this morning, I'd like to encourage us to do all we can to protect our thoughts. And if we're going to protect our thoughts, we must protect our content, that which we read and that which we watch. So one of the practices I have, I don't visit Facebook, because Facebook is the only book that shows everybody rich and everybody happy. And Facebook is one of the only books that the author has no desire of the truth of its content. I also take very careful note that I don't fool around TikTok, because TikTok doesn't allow me to control the content. It gives me a reel of what I want and maybe that which I don't want. And if we're going to embrace the future possibilities, we must first bring our thoughts into discipline. And the Apostle Paul writing tells us, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honorable, think on these things. So I'd like to say to the group that is leaving to go on to high school, if you are going to embrace the possibilities of the future, you must make sure you protect your thoughts, and you should make sure you cultivate good thoughts. Because thoughts controls our actions forms habits, and our habits forms character, and our character determines our destiny. And the second thing I'd like to share with you, that if we're going to embrace the possibilities of the future, you must take charge of the possibility of the present. Because what we're going to be, we are now becoming. And we must make sure we have a definite purpose in life. We must make sure we develop a definite purpose, what we want to become, what we want to do with our lives. And when we develop that definite purpose, we must have a definite time. When? We must have a definite how. How are we going to do it? We must develop what we're going to use to do it. And then we must get to work doing it. It is said that if you don't know what you want, anything will do. And if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So I'd like to say to you this morning, make sure you develop a definite purpose for your life. Then thirdly, purpose should drive desire. What is desire? Desire is a compelling feeling, an emotion of wanting, an emotion of reaching, an emotion of dreaming, an emotion of becoming. And when you merge that desire with the desire of embracing, holding closely, taking care of these present moments, that these present moments can shape the future moments. When you put that fuel of desire behind the awareness of taking care of your thoughts, having a definite purpose, then you are driven. And you're not driven, but you're driven to where you're going. And that going is somewhere that is noble, somewhere that will uplift your family, somewhere that will empower you, somewhere that will lift your community, somewhere that will inspire your country, somewhere that will make you great. And then desire must be backed up with passion. Turn to your neighbor and say passion. Yes, desire must be backed up with passion. We must persist at all costs. You didn't hear me. When it gets difficult, we must persist. When it gets hard, we must persist. When we did not achieve the school we desire to go, we must persist. When we did not get the grades we desire, we must persist. And parents, when our children did not get the school of their choice, Honorable Mr. Davis, Honorable Davis, we should persist. We must persist when we have lost. We must persist when we win. And we must continue to persist. So I tell you a story about Darby. I told you that the talk will be a story about two Darby. In the late 18th century, there was a gold rush in the West. And Mr. Darby sold his possession. He was living in Wilbur, Maryland, and he sold his possession and went west in search of gold. Bought a plot, started digging, and he found gold very early, Teacher Mitchell. And he got excited, Mr. Davis, went back home and showed his neighbors and his families that he had struck gold. But they needed machinery to mine. And they sold what they had, gave him, and he headed back to Maryland, Mr. Chairman. And they started digging, and he found a large ore. And he was excited. He sent back messages to his family members and to his neighbors that they had found gold. First deposit they found was enough almost to clear their debt. But then they started digging, Teacher Mitchell, for a long period, and there was no trace of gold. And they persisted, and they persisted, and then all of a sudden, all traces of fault lines of gold disappeared. And then Darby gave up. Tell your neighbor, then Darby gave up. Tell your neighbor, then Darby gave up. And then tell your neighbor that Darby gave up, you can't afford to give up. Come on, baby man. Tell your neighbor Darby gave up. And you cannot afford to give up. So Darby gave up because he had a long period without any sight of gold. And he sold the mine with the machinery to a scrapyard man. Broken, He returned to Maryland with a few $100s. And when this scrapyard man came, the first thing he did was to get an engineer to check the mine. And when the engineer came along, his eyes popped open. And he said, surely, whoever had this mine has no knowledge of fault lines. Because with his technical geological eyes, he knew, he discovered that gold was 3 feet away. How many feet did I say? 3 feet away. But Darby gave up. And they continued to dig. The new man who owned continued to dig. And in 3 feet, they found the largest deposit of gold they've ever found in the South. And the man, the scrapyard man, became a millionaire. I want to tell you this morning that you should not give up. I want to tell you this morning that you should persist. Whether you get the school you wanted to go or not, persist. Whether your parents love you or not, persist. Whether your teachers are fair or unfair, persist. Whether you're rich or you're poor, persist. Whether you're beautiful or you're not so beautiful, persist. Whether they believe in you or not, persist. Because if you never give up, you will succeed. So the new man became a millionaire. But the story of Darby did not end. Didn't I tell you that there's a story about 2 Darbys? Darby who gave up learned his lesson, Miss Mitchell, and he became an insurance salesman, and he turned his life around. He carried it in with him, Mr. Coronius, the memories of giving up 3 feet away from gold, 3 feet away from success, 3 feet away from realizing his dream. And you know insurance is not easy, but whenever he went to sell insurance, when they told him no, he said, I'm 3 feet away from succeeding. And Darby turned his life around and became one of the greatest salesmen the world has ever seen. I want to say to you this morning, you can choose to be either of the 2 Darbys. You can choose to give up. You can choose to give up. Making dormant that brilliant mind that God has given you. Making that beautiful body waste that God has given you. Making the open door that God has opened that no one can shut before you close. Or you can be like the second Darby who learned his lesson and carried the lesson of failure forward as he continued to persist and became great. So I say to you this morning, celebrating this moment of leaving from one school to another, I say to you this morning, make sure you protect your thoughts. Make sure you develop a definite purpose in life. Make sure you have a burning desire to be somebody. Make sure you persist at all costs. And then finally I say to you, make sure you follow the leading of the Almighty God. You didn't hear me. Make sure you follow, and I know that the God business isn't popular, but I'm telling you that. Make sure you follow the leading of the Almighty God. The wise man Solomon says, lean not unto thine own understanding, Proverbs 3:5. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And if God directs your path, he will lead you on a path of righteousness for his name's sake. And he will lead you from victory to victory. I should tell you in closing that I'm a past student of the Anchovy Primary School. I should also tell you that when I attended the Anchovy Primary School, we were allotted 1 pair of shoes for 1 year. I should also tell you that we walked to school. I walked 2 miles to school and back. And when it rained, we used to take off our shoes, tie the lace, and hang it around our necks. We could not afford for it to wet because there was no second pair. And I took pride in having my shoes, and I went to play football deep, put my shoes down, and the boys hit my shoes on the stone. And guess what? I'd used up my 1 pair quota for the year, and I had to walk barefoot to school. But I persisted. I should also tell you that when I went to Anchovy Primary School, Mr. Jones was the principal, and Mr. Jones always liked to take a few drinks, Mr. Davis. And when he takes a few drinks and you see him in his orange bush jacket and his green pants and his brown shoes without the lace and his leather belt and his eyes rolling, you know that if you're late, you're dead. I should also tell you that the same Mr. Jones used to have a little fine comb that he would walk around and test the height of her hair. And in those days, you had the Pansin Home children, the Garden Home children, who had barber each. And the same comb would be testing here from grade 1 to grade 6. And one morning when he came to test my hair, I protested and we got into a fight and mashed up grade 5. Because I was an angry young man. I left, went on to a high school, Anchovy Secondary School. And I should tell you that I didn't always cultivate good thoughts. I should tell you that I didn't have a definite purpose. I should also tell you that my desires were good, but they were not wholesome. My desires were not wholesome. I spent most of my time playing football and burning ganja to the right, either to the right or to the left, or is the English game. I should also tell you that I met Jesus Christ on the way after I left school. And by following his leading, he turned my life around completely. I should also tell you that I've had no one girl for 40 years, one wife for 32 years. I've owned a group of pharmacists in a medical supplies company, and I have turned out to be one of the owners of G West Medical Hospital. And I have a son that is about to graduate as a dental surgeon, and the foster children, 3 of them, have all completed university. I have come by to tell you that you do not have to be the first doctor. If you have not done well, there is time to turn around. And if you have not persisted in the past, it is now time you can persist. Embrace, yes, embrace the present opportunities. That you are bright, you're young, you have parents or guardians who support you, teachers who love you, a God who has opened an open door before you. I say to you, embrace the present as you reach for the future. And Robert Browning says, if a man's reach cannot reach beyond his grasp, but what there is a heaven for, I say to you, as you graduate from primary school, if you can graduate, and as you leave primary school, develop your thoughts, develop a definite purpose. Cultivate the burning desire for that which is good. Persist at all costs. Follow the leading of the Almighty God. And he will lead you from victory unto victory.
Put your hands together for him again, boys and girls. I'm sure you were encouraged, right? And it's time for our greetings from Mr. Davis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure you're having a very good time. After that presentation by our guest speaker, I'm sure he would have said to you, the road is never easy. But if you stick and focus, you will get to your destination. Good afternoon, everyone, again. Good afternoon to you, the students who are here today who are graduating. To the parents, teachers, principal, friends and community members. It is an absolute joy to be here with you today. And I can say this, whenever I get a chance to speak at a primary school graduation, I take it very seriously. Because I know I am looking at our future. I know the future is right here at the Mount Carey Baptist Church. So just in case we might be thinking otherwise, a number of us are approaching the departure lounge. A number of us might have already in the departure lounge. And it is very important and very critical to us who are at our stage now to protect our future. And in protecting our future is not only to attend their graduation, it is to stick with them through the next journey that they will be embarking. And why do I say this? They will all be entering a new environment. They will all be going to a new school. They will all be meeting new friends. They will all be having new teachers. And their lives will be changed. Their friends will be changed. And as parent and as guardian, you must be able to detect these changes. Their phones will be ringing more often. They will spend more time on their phones. And they will tell you that is a homework they get at school. And they are sharing it with their friends. But as Pastor Samuel knows, sometimes you have to peep in that homework to see exactly what is happening. Because sometimes it's not the homework that you might be thinking. So it is important for us as a community, as a country, to raise our children in a way in which they can be productive, in a way in which they can represent us very well. And you must have seen me went and sat beside our dear principal, Mrs. Mitchell, just to get an idea of how well the kids have done. And let me tell you, parents, you need to stand up and give the teaching staff at Anchovy Primary School a rousing round of applause. Stand up. I'm sure you don't know how well they have done. I'm sure you don't know how well they have done. Congratulations, Mrs. Mitchell and his teaching staff at the Anchovy Primary School. You have done an excellent job. And you know, I have always said, Rev and Chairman, that Anchovy Primary School is a special place for me. I can't ever recall missing one of their graduations.
No, I missed them.
Can't tell. But parents, we have a job to do.
Yes.
So as they finish grade 6, moving on to secondary, high school, you will see the difference in them. And you know what happens sometimes? They leave primary school with very high marks. And sometimes up to the first 2-3 years in high school, you have to ask the question, was this the same child? Because sometimes we give them too much latitude. And let me tell you something that is very important. Where you are from doesn't limit where you can go. Where you are from doesn't limit where you can go. And I will even go further to say, wherever you're planted, you can go. So not because you didn't get the school of your first or second choice, it doesn't mean that you can't be what you want to be in life. So I say to you, the graduates today, keep focused. Don't be distracted, because the distraction is out there. And I'm sure you would have gotten not only the teachers imparting knowledge, but they would also impart in you self-discipline. And what is self-discipline? Self-discipline is how you conduct yourself, how you respect others around you. And I would say to you, don't expect anyone to respect you. You must give that respect. Respect begets respect. Show love to each other. Parents, show love to your child. Because if you cultivate love in your child, they will cultivate love in the wider society. Let us be at peace with each other. Let us exercise respect in the wider society. It is important that we live by example, because the children learn what they live. So as I close, I normally, and this year is no exception, reach out to the top 20 performing students at Anchovy Primary School. Based on what the principal is saying to me, Pastor, I have to wheel and come again. Now I have to wheel and come again. So I'll be reaching out to the top 30 performances. And I will say to you also, the others won't be left out. Because I know a number of you lived in my own constituency. And I know your parents will reach out to me. I'm going to know, sir, when it comes to education, it's at the delivers. When it comes to education, I don't care if you wear a orange shirt, you wear a black shirt, you wear a green shirt, I even wear no shirt whatsoever. I reach out because what I'm seeking to do, I'm seeking to make this place, Jamaica land we love, a better place for all. So as I take my seat, I wish you well. I will see you in your various communities. And I'm sure Anchovy Primary School will continue to soar. I'm sure after this graduation, Mrs. Mitchell, the interest that will be focusing on Anchovy High School, you might have to ask the member of parliament, how can I get another block to build some more classrooms? Because the population is now nearly 1,100. But with this type of results, sorry for you to provide some space. So once again, thank you very much. Congratulations, children. Continue doing your best, continue giving your best, and continue believing God. He will guide you, He will see you through. Thank you very much.
Parents, I'm not sure if you were listening correctly, but this simply means that our graduates would have performed exceptionally well. Give them a round of applause. Keep cheering them on. At this time, we'll have the presentation to our guest speaker by Sydney Connell.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Anchovy Primary School and my fellow graduates, I present this token as a representation of our appreciation for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here today. Your words of encouragement water the seeds of growth planted. Your words of encouragement will forever be hinged in our minds. Thank you.
Graduates, you came with wide eyes and pencils in hand to learn and to wonder, to dream and to stand. From counting to stories, from spelling to art, you carried each lesson deep in your heart. You've grown every day, each stumble, each chair, turning questions to courage and hope into gear. With laughter and friendship, you've walked side by side. Now stand tall and proud, and sparkle and strive. The world awaits ahead with mountains to climb, new books to open, new rhythms and rap. But you've got the spark, the drive and the will to chase every rainbow and to climb every hill. So shine on, bright stars. Keep aiming high. Let your dreams take you up like birds in the sky. Your journey's just starting, so go far and go free. The future is waiting for all who can be. At this time, we'll have Mrs. Mitchell coming to give the principal's address, followed by our valedictory address. I am kindly asking that the driver of a silver Axio 8212 km please remove your vehicle at this time. Thank you. That's 8212 km, a silver Axio. Please remove your vehicle. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tedman. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a wonderful day, isn't it? I'm just beaming with pride I'm in the presence of like 3 awesome past students of Anchovy, the Anchovy Primary School. Much was not said of Mr. Heeman, but he has lectured abroad for many years. You realize that he is a little on the age side. He has lectured abroad for many years. And we have a book in our library that was written by him. Two books, and he would have taken with him today some of his latest poems, which I'll share with our staff members, so you can just read and cherish. It's really good to see you return. Mr. Samuels, that was an awesome speech. It's good that you all are able to return, because those sitting there will be returning in short order. As Ms. Tedman, you can still see the breast milk on her mouth. So it tells you that she didn't leave a long time ago. Because I taught her, and I'm only there for 22 years now. So she didn't leave a long time ago. She just left the other day, and she has been doing well with this chairmanship. Guest speaker, Mr. Dennis Samuels. Chairman, Ms. Ramona Stedman. Board Chair, Mr. Dean Carruthers. Vice Principal, Mr. Michael Thompson. Our guidance counselors, Mrs. Shanique Dinham Walters and Mrs. Andromeda Drummond Willows. Our devotion master, Mr. Sheldon Cohen. All teachers, you're looking wonderful over there. Parents, well-wishers. And last but by no means least, our school leavers. Stand, school leavers, and take a bow. For most of you, I instructed you to stand. I'm wondering if you're listening, because these speeches that I've heard, I'd be screaming down there if I were a graduate down there. Put your hands together for yourselves. Clap your hands. Thank you, boys. Clap yourselves. I asked you to stand because I'm expecting you to listen to what I have to say. You may be seated. The school year 2024-25 2025 started with a sense of expectation. We ended the last school year on a high with some of the best PEP results we ever achieved and some of the greatest grades and some of the best placements. That was last year. And so the expectations rose, and we knew that we had to step up and ensure that we did not go anywhere less than where we ended the last year. And we did not. We started the year and we had two of our teachers who moved on. One did I say, when you come as teachers, do your best. And if you have to move on, allow us to miss you. Well, I saw one of our teachers left in the week, and I'm seeing Miss Ellis over there now. And we did miss you, Miss Ellis. So we had to move on without them. In addition, 4 teachers went on 8 months vacation leave. As such, we actually lost 6 teachers to move on. Hence, we welcomed 4 new teachers. We did not replace the 2 teachers who resigned, as we had plans to keep some of the teachers that we would have gotten new. Our new teachers are Miss Roseanne McDonald, Miss McDonald, can you stand? Miss Najee Heaven, Miss Daniel Bailey spent 8 months with us, but had to go. And Miss Annalisa Forrester also, well, she spent a year with us. She spent 8 months officially. That's what impact sounds like. That's what impact sounds like. She spent 8 months. She had to go because the person whom she was working for came back. But she came almost every day. She actually came as a classroom teacher, but she found her niche in the sports department, and hence you here grade 6 behaving like that, because along with her sports. Okay, thank you grade 6, thank you. So she joined with Mrs. Calvin Williams and took the inexperienced netball team, very inexperienced netball team, to a 2nd place in the original rally and champions of the league, champions of 1 league, and 3rd place in a 2nd league. That's not on this part of this speech, but the fact that grade 6 is misbehaving when they hear Miss Forrester's name. So those are our new teachers, and we have experience left. All other teachers who remained, we say thanks to you, thanks for staying with us, and thanks for the hard work that you put in every day. I always say, a teacher affects eternity. You can never tell where influence, his, her influence ends. Put your hands together for our teachers. With these additions, we ended up with 34 members of the academic staff, should be 36, and 24 classrooms. A productive physical education department, a marvelous music department, a grandeur guidance and counseling department. We we actually target everything that we do, and as such, even the names of our classes, we target. We have grade 1 inspired, as I call your class, if you're here, just jump up and be recognized. Grade 1 inspired. Grade 1 motivated. Get up. Grade 1 energized. Grade 1 stimulated. All right. And that's one of our new kids on the block. She is 2 years old at Anchovy Primary School, and she has been doing exploit in her grade 1 class. Grade 2 gifted. Grade 2 ablaze. Grade 2 clever. Short for everybody. Grade 2 talented. Thank you. Grade 3 expert. Grade 3 brains. Grade 3 intellect. Grade 3 genius. Grade 4 awesome. Grade 4 amazing. Grade 4 astonishing. Grade 4 astounding. Grade 5 radiance. Grade 5 sparkle. Grade 5 glow. Grade 5 beam. Grade 6 marvel. Grade 6 magnificent. Thank you. Grade 6 superlative. And grade 6 supreme. It is targeted. We speak those in the atmosphere. It is targeted. We speak those in the atmosphere. When you go to a classroom and you say to the awesome students, how are you today? They say, we are awesome. Thank you. So I said we had a productive physical education department. We have within that department Mr. Glenn Pickersgill and Mrs. Latoya Calvin Williams. Stand and be recognized. Thank you. A marvelous music department led by Mr. Tajay Gibson. A graduate guidance and counseling department, Auntie, led by Mrs. Shanique Dina Waters and Mrs. Angelina Jaman Willow. We started the year with a total of 966 students, 480 boys, 486 girls. From this group, we chose our student leaders. As I call your names, please stand and be recognized if you are within the grade 6 cohort. Head boy, Mr. Jaden Malcolm. Is Jaden here? Head girl, Miss Anique Gracie. Our deputy head boys, I think Christoph, those are from grade 5 classes. I saw Mr. Stewart here. Mr. Christoph Stewart. Can you walk in if you're here, Christoph? And Mr. Harry Henderson. Our deputy head girls, Miss Sidonie Connell and Miss Kalila Thompson. These with a group of monitors we duly inducted within Heritage Month. Governance. We are provided leadership by our Board of Governors was ably led by Mr. Dean Corrales. Put your hands together for our chairman. We are already, he is accessible. I have heard the horror stories of chairmen who have gone missing. Principals aren't able to do anything because they can't find the chairman. Sir, I'm grateful for your leadership. I'm grateful that you have stuck with us. And I trust that we will have that relationship for another number of years. Put your hands together again for our chairman. Safety and security. Acquiring a good education requires that children feel safe and secure in their learning environment. I need not to list our safety measures as our achievement speeds. Our school was awarded a level 3 safety and security certificate. This is the highest level of certification the ministry offers. Our programs. We allow the programs we execute to guide our success. And so like I said, everything we do is targeted. Our guidance and counseling program, this is the human resource program at our school. The program caters to the psychosocial development of all stakeholders, nutrition of our students, health and wellness, and all other social needs. Guidance and counseling. This department is ably carried by, I called their names earlier, I'm not seeing this. Mrs. Shanique, understand? Mrs. Waters, I take her, please. Thank you so much. And Mrs. Angelina Drummond Willox and a team of workers. In collaboration with the sports department, our guidance and counseling department engages in Jamaica Moves in School as a means of keeping our students healthy, fit, and able to learn. We have 2 water days per week where we do not sell sugary drink to our students. It's just water that we give them on those days, and we have a fruit day on Wednesday, and that happens every week. As a result of careful planning and excellent execution, we have experienced an engaging parent-mom program. Parents, you can speak to that. I would have seen the parents on the outside, through the guidance and counseling department, of course. I would have seen the parents engaged with their children and doing all sorts of activities. I say thanks to you for coming in when we call you, and that you are so willing to participate in the lives of your students, or your children rather, our students. We had an exciting Parents' Day, the inaugural Boys and Girls Day, and an exciting Child's Month. We say thanks to the Guidance and Counseling Department for executing programs that they have and ensuring that our students are holistically developed. We say thanks to you, madams. Anchovy Primary School boasts a planned academic program that is tailored to meet the needs of all our students on academics. There are 2 large groups in each grade, a mainstream and a mixed group. Our mainstream group constitutes students who are able to manage on their own. They have to be taught, but they are able to manage. When we find that some persons will be slipping in and out of the groups, that you have to go hard to get them to do something. Our mixed group constitutes students whom we will have to plan special programs for and work with them. So the 2 two groups are further divided into two groups. Hence, we have four classes within each grade. Our students are engaged in both local and national competitions. This year saw the students entering the UWI mathematics competitions. 4 students were awarded halls of learning math competition. They did not make it to the 26 students were invited to the finals, but we had so many activities, we were bumping activities into each other, so we did not make it to the finals. We did not get to go. We made it, but we did not get to go. We didn't get a chance to go. And the JSIF science competition. I must announce that in the JSIF science competition, our school was awarded the most excellent school. But guess what? We came second. Let me explain that. A student in another school beat one of our students, but nearly 50 of our students moved across the rounds and were awarded on a broad base. And so we got a trophy that says most excellent school and second place, because one student in another school got the highest. We have Mr. Kumbari Aimotep. Stan Kumbari. This boy got 29 of 30 on the first round and 28 on the second round. So the person who won could not beat him by more than one. The person who actually won could not beat him by more than one. Because he almost made it to the full marks of gold. And as such, we have let all the students who were awarded in the JSIF science competition stand. You see why we got the most? You see why we came out on top in that competition? They had to call and ask what we were doing in science. And I said, we are stemming it up in here. We're stemming it up in here. Take a bow, students, and you may have a seat. And continuing with academics, and this is grade 6, I want to talk about our achievement in PET. Well, I think it's no commonplace, it's an expectation that we do well, because we have always been doing well. I must say that the top award this year tops the top award last year. The top grade topped the top grade for last year. We have one student, and I'm not going to call her name yet, achieving 382.9 of the 400 possible marks. Our students outdid themselves. Today we'll be awarding 85 students with platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And I must say that the 2 top awards, that's platinum and gold, are more than half of the awards that are there. It means that the students, they went all out and did extremely well. I just want to recognize 12 of our students who go above the 90 percentile mark. Kimoyari, Jordy Murray, Kumbari Aibute, Leanna Robinson, Sidonie Connell, Denny Johnson, Kamara Green, Tyrese Boddington, Anandra Cummings, Lavinia Burchell, Jane Manco, Annie Gracie. Now these students are from 89.5%, which I round to 90, to 95.6%. Put your hands together for our students. Now, note well that I did not go down to 80%, which we start our goal there. I started at 90, so we have a lot more commendations to give. The ministry places students on pathways. When the results come, some students are on pathway 1, some on pathway 2, some on pathway 3. Pathway 1 students are able to manage in the high schools on their own. Pathway 2 they are also placed in good high schools. So we have some pathway 2 students going to Rossies and all those schools. So they are placed in good high schools because they are able to manage, but with a little more help. Pathway 3, those students will need great attention. And as hard as you try, your population will be having some of those. We have 7% of those.
7%.
For pathway 2, we have 36%. And for pathway 1, we have 57%. Put your hands together. So for all students who are able to manage on their own, that's 57 plus 36. And that constitutes 93% of our students are able to go out there and function without much of an assistant. Put your hands together for my teacher. And I say, teacher, I'm not even sure. So you can plan a trip for them. You can plan something for them. Plan something for them. Plan something for them. Just put it out there in the atmosphere. They're working very, very, very hard. Plan something for them. Students, you've all been placed in different high schools. I say to you parents, allow the students to go to the schools they were placed and to grow where they have been planted. Do not allow a child with an 80% average placed at Anchovy High School to feel like he or she has done something wrong. Irwin High School, St. James High School, those students got excellent grades. Some of them are going to walk up here and collect gold and silver awards. Allow the students to grow where they are planted. I heard the other speakers alluded to that. Ensure that when you go there, you do justice. Stand, Miss Stedman. I had Miss Stedman in my grade 6 class, and she hit nothing but 90s when she was there. You know where she was placed? Anchovy High School. She became their head girl. The current head boy at Anchovy High School is an Anchovy Primary School student. Last year head girl at Anchovy High School is also an Anchovy Primary School student. Allow the students to grow where they are planted. Send them to their schools. Buy have done well. Thank you so much. And don't come to me for anything about any transfer. Unless they send them to Timbuktu and you can't afford it. Speak to Mr. Davis. But I just want us to put our hands together for our students as they have done so well. Discipline. Despite our greatest effort, we are going to be faced with issues of indiscipline. We believe in positive discipline as a school as such. Through the SWPB, that school-wide positive behavior system, we actually, that comes out of the guidance and counseling department. This program instills positive values and attitudes in our students. Can you jump to your feet again, grade 6, and echo our values, our core values? What's the acronym? What's the acronym? The people are not hearing me. What's the acronym? What does LARP stand for? Those in the pavilion did not hear you, so I'm going to ask you to say it again. What does L stand for? A. R. T. H. And what's that called? Love. So we instill these values, you may be seated, in our students, and as such, with the exception of a lot of noise, which usually constitutes the classroom, which we want to eliminate, but we can't. We have just some serious issues with just a few students. I must say that 8 of our students are not at this ceremony today on account of antisocial behaviors that are exhibited from day to day. And let me tell you what I do in January of each year. It doesn't matter what, we have a day of atonement. So it doesn't matter what you did from September to December, we relieve you of that when we have the first devotion in January. So all those who were taking our graduation list up to December 31, circle, we forgive them on January, whatever day we start school. So anybody who is not graduating today would have gone back and messed up the record, because they would have gotten a clean record on January 1. So I say to you parents, school is a partnership, and whatever is happening at school affects the home. Well, it's vice versa. Home affects school, school affects home. But I do believe that home affects school more greatly than school can affect home. When we collect knives at school, they come from home. And when we collect all the contrabands at school, usually they're taken from somewhere at home. Be careful. Be careful what they're exposed to. Somebody talked about social media. Oh my God. I don't even want to go there in this August ceremony, so I'll move on. Okay, so cultural awareness. Well, I don't need to announce either that we have one of the best cultural departments in St. James. We have prepared some of the most excellent students in culture. I would have introduced the teachers already. The department is ably led by Mrs. Yvette Fraser, and we are just out there in everything. This year, we entered the JCDC festivals again. In speech, music, ring games, and dance. For speech, we got 1 gold, 4 medals, and 1 gold medal, 4 bronze, amounting to 5 medals in speech. I'm expecting the applause. Now, the piece you just heard about protecting the trees was a gold medal piece. For music, 2 gold medals, 3 silver medals, 3 bronze medals, and 1 merit. 2 pieces advanced to the national finals. No, sir. No, sir. Let me tell you how JCDC works. You pick up your 50 children and take them down there, and you don't even get a merit. It is the best of the best that get a merit. But when you hear about going to Kingston, and you sit down there quiet, the 2 gold medal pieces advance to the national finals. Yes, ma'am. Take about Mr. Dixon. And for dance, we got 1 bronze. Didn't enter many in that category. For ring games, we got 3 gold medal pieces. And guess what? Guess what? All of them went to Kingston. Put your hands together for our students. Miss Tom, just stand and take a bow. It's like she's possessed. When it comes to time to prepare the students for ring games, she just snaps out of it, and all you hear her say, ring games, ring games, ring games, ring games, ring games. And they just do so well. They went to Kingston last year too. We got for quadrille 1 gold medal. Miss Martin, can you stand? Thank you. That's a grand total of 20 medals in JCDC competitions 2025 at Anchovy Primary School. We celebrate our students. We celebrate our cultural department. Clubs and societies. We have the Brownie Club, Cub Scouts, 4-H, the Environment Club, the K-Kids Club, and the academic clubs. The sports group, not a club, it's a group, but it constitutes many little parts, and the music also constitutes many little parts. We put our hands together and celebrate our teachers and students for all that they are doing. Our sports department leads in this country. This year, our sports coordinator was appointed Master Teacher of Physical Education by the Ministry of Education, quite deserving. Stand, Mrs. Williams. I said Master Teacher. Thank you. And for us, it's a big deal. And guess what? We have a lot of master teachers sitting over there, and I am not going to stop poking you until everybody applies and become master teacher. And then Anchovy High School is master school. Thank you. The students were engaged in football, they emerged champions. They were engaged in netball, they emerged champions. They entered 2 netball leagues, champion in the first, 3rd place in the second. I said that earlier. A myriad of athletics. Champions. All the athletes of grade 6 stand. I went to a championship at St. Mary's Prep that our sports coordinator put on. And somebody said they just call the people together to meet them up. Because when the gun went off, Anchovy was at the door and everybody else was behind. So I walked over to a principal and I said, what's going on? He said, me no care. Me no care. If they come last, me no business, they celebrate too. Because they were not competing with us, you know. They were competing down at the back with everybody else because we were just out there. These athletes are excellent athletes. And we say thanks to the parents who allow us to engage them. We know, and then guess what? Most of these students did excellent on their PEP examination. So you can just imagine, you can watch television a few years from now, and you will see them out there saying, thanks to my teacher, Mrs. Calvin Williams, in primary school, who started with me, and all of that. But remember to say that, or I'm coming in the television to get you, you may see it. I must talk a little about the match we had with Chester Castle, the netball match. And Chester Castle gave us a fine beating in the first game. And when I say a fine beating, the students came out with everything within them crushed. But we just saw these students growing over the league. And in the end, they won. What was the score again? 18-19 in favor of Anchovy Primary School. So you know that was a real match. Okay. My heart almost went out of me when I was watching it. Because at every point they were tied, and then the Chester Castle gone one ahead, then the tie again and Anchovy gone one ahead, and in the end, we were ahead. It's the best match that I've ever won, because guess what? Okay, STEM. The Ministry of Education has introduced, it is the way forward. It's the way of education. It's where we have to be. And all our students are engaged in actually STEM education. And I guess that's the reason they're doing so well. And we would have started long before the push started. Our students have been exposed to coding languages, different coding languages. So from grade 1 to grade 6, they are able to code you something. All classes have at least 1 or 2 share 1 smart television. We are still soliciting smart televisions for, they're only $22,000. And we don't want any money, just buy it and take it over there and we'll give you a receipt for the television. So that all classes, I think grade 5 only has 2 and we have 4 classes. So the 2 classes share 1. Grade 6 has 2, we have 4 classes, so 2 classes are sharing 1. So if one class is using the television, the other cannot. So over the holiday, just allow me to put up another 2. Thank you so much. All students, bring over what I've read before, I talk too much. We would have exposed them to coding and they would have entered and won coding competition. So we engage them in both the physical and the virtual world. I must announce that e-learning has given us 50 laptops towards the end of the school term, and so next year the lab will be transformed into a second lab, and we would have gotten a smart board. That will be our second smart board. So you are just hearing this because it came yesterday. It came on Sunday. So put your hands together for the blessings that we are receiving as a school. JB Sound. JB Sound is a mini model of a real town. It's held in Kingston, where students are prepared to manage different businesses and to do all sorts of stuff. And Anchovy Primary School went, and the students did excellent. I'll be sharing their pieces that they wrote for their media on that day, and we actually came out on top. Put your hands together again for our students. and our teachers who have enabled them the opportunity to do as well as they are doing. Today, we could not have done it by ourselves. Hence, we express thanks to our stakeholders. I just want to name a few of our stakeholders who constantly stick around and ensure that whatever we want, we have. The netball league that we had at our school was sponsored by Minister Homer Davis. Put your hands together. We say thanks to Kmar's Books. We say thanks to Jason. Now earlier, Enrock, that's the National Road Construction Company, came by and refurbished our boys' bathroom. It is like a state-of-the-art bathroom. Well, luckily, it's attached to the teacher's bathroom, and the teacher's bathroom was also done. So when the boys' bathroom was done, I decided that I don't want the girls to kill me. Theirs was done earlier, but it's not as pretty. So we had to go out and get the girls' bathroom done. We have done some work there. It's not equal because Enrock tiled even the walls of the boys' bathroom. So it's a little over the girls' bathroom, but I painted and girls, I did the best that I could. I hope you're grateful. Hear them? I said that. We have past student Mr. Louis Heeman. Every time he comes to Jamaica, he brings us something. He brings us machine, he brings us plants every time, and he stops by school and makes a big entrance, and we are grateful, sir. Thank you. We have coming on board Mr. Richard Thomas Nixon. Anybody knows Nixon? He said, I'm to say Nixon because nobody in this, he knows you. Because he said, I know the guest speaker. He's giving two of our students, our two top sport students today, he's giving them $20,000 each. And we are grateful. And we solicit those type of engagements. If you want to sponsor our top language students or top mathematics students, you are free. We don't want much. We don't want much. $20,000 for me is like a lot. Okay, so whatever you're able to do, Lawson's Block Factory, King Wholesale, and the business community of Anchovy. Without these persons, we would not be where we are. The school would not be what it is today. Moving forward, we say, we will continue to strive. We will continue to rise. And we will continue to live true to our motto. Can you stand and echo our motto in the atmosphere? Boys and girls. 1, 2, 3. Aspire, believe, conquer. We are on a mission to conquer Anchovy and the world. Thank you. God bless you.
That was amazing, and that again is proof that our students are doing exceptionally well. At this time, we'll have the valedictorian address by Annie Gracie.
Master of Ceremony, Mr. Mona Sedman. Guest speaker, Mr. Dennis Samuels. Education Officer, Mrs. Kayla Clark Stevenson. Other specially invited guests, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Mr. Dean Corollas. Other members of the Board of Directors, PTA President, Mr. Keisha White. Principal, Mrs. Cheryl Grant Mitchell. teachers, and other members of staff, family, and friends, it is with great pleasure that I extend a good afternoon to you all. Today, amidst the insurmountable challenges and adversities we face as the class of 2025, I assume that many of you, my fellow classmates, are thinking, yes, I'm finally graduating. Yes, I made it. On the other hand, there are those who may be thinking, oh no, I'm going to miss my friends and all the great times I've had at this school. Whatever you are thinking, my friends, today is a day of triumph. It is victory. It's the day that we celebrate the goodness of God. It marks a significant milestone in our lives. It is the day for which we have been toiling, waiting, and praying just to make it. For this reason, I deem it an occasion of both joy and sorrow. One of joy because we have defied the odds and have reached a glorious milestone in our lives. One of sorrow because this milestone will now reside in the past. I must add that it has taken much dedication and intense effort to make it to this point. I do not deem this an individual accomplishment, but the success of all those who share in this evening. I must express my sincere gratitude to the graduation committee and my fellow schoolmates for the opportunity they afforded me to reflect on behalf of the group. I express thanks to our parents for their unquestioning and constant support and encouragement. I remember well the day we came to the big school. The school was indeed big school. It seemed like yesterday some of us cried uncontrollably, ran out of class, some of us even wept ourselves. Our fears were somewhat cushioned by the warmth and care of our grade 1 teachers, Mrs. Veronica Collins, Miss Jacqueline Henry, Mrs. Jennifer McHale, and Mrs. Alvarita McFarlane. Eventually, time passed and our pride changed to laughter. School became our second home, a place we want to be. And as the TVJ slogan says, just look at us now. As we grew older, big school gradually grew smaller. Today, as we say goodbye to our teachers, our friends, kitchen and cleaning staff, as well as all those who taught our lives, as I reminisce, it suddenly dawned on me what a large hunk of my life, our lives, I am, we are leaving behind. On this note, I am personally compelled to express thanks to our teachers